welcome back to another Ready Set Crypto video. Today we're going to be running through some projects that I've got my eye on and that I think are doing interesting things that you should know about. Please note that this video is not meant to shill. It's not meant for you to buy my bags or anything like that. I'm not making predictions on any of these projects. Please do not take this video as financial advice because it's not meant to be. The last thing to cover before we jump into the projects is how we split the projects into the three pillars, those being crypto, STO, and DeFi. Now, not every project is going to fit neatly into one of these categories or pillars, but the general purpose here is to show you how they generally fit into the larger crypto space. Furthermore, it's a good representation of how the crypto space is expanding in many different avenues and directions. So with that covered, we'll go right into the crypto projects. The first one up is VIDT, often referred to as just VID. What it's done is developed a powerful platform to detect and prevent document fraud. The VID service can be used for PDF diplomas, audit trails, security footage, certificates, research results, etc. And right off the bat, it's easy to see that it's a pretty good use case of blockchain. To accomplish the protection they put in place, they index file hashes to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Digibyte, Hyperledger, and most notably LTO. As far as tokenomics go, their token serves to identify the authenticator using KYC wallets and serves to cover the indexing blockchain fees. They already have some pretty notable partnerships lined up, and they just announced that they're starting to authenticate physical assets as well. Time will show if it can outmatch the centralized competitors it has, but I think the signs are pretty good for this one. Next, I want to talk about Lydion. It aims to be a scalable public-private blockchain built for businesses with GDPR compliance in mind. They aim to allow businesses and large enterprises to bring innovative blockchain applications to the mass market that are also legally compliant. What interests me is that they're actively working with the German government to provide a technical solution for the issuance of security tokens. I think this is another example of a project that is clearly taking on more centralized competitors, companies like IBM and Amazon, which are going to roll out blockchain as a service solutions for businesses, but that's not to downplay the role that Lydion can possibly play. Looking at things from a bottom-up perspective, they'll inherently understand small business needs better, and I think they're proving that they are innovative and thinking ahead. So I'm excited to see what they can bring to the table. So next I want to talk about StakeNet. I'm going to hold off on a lot of the information I have regarding StakeNet because I'm going to be doing a full-fledged review on them, but the principal thing to know about StakeNet is that it's building in functionality with layer 2 in mind. Contrary to how most projects look at their tech stack, StakeNet doesn't want to impose a new norm, but rather adhere to the existing Bitcoin and Lightning Network standard, which they believe will be the present and future of crypto. I think this is a really good frame of mind because they don't have to focus on trying to become mainstream and popular. Instead, they'll just be alongside Bitcoin and the Lightning Network providing value. To that end, the value that they're providing is a decentralized exchange on the Lightning Network with no single point of failure. This allows you to bring massive value to the Bitcoin network and have a place to trade instantly at zero fees, completely wallet to wallet in one click. What's even more cool is that the token XSN can be held in cold storage and still staked on the network, so allowing you to do token agnostic Lightning Network atomic swaps and to stake your coins on the network without ever having to have them leave your wallet. That's pretty cool. So look forward to me talking about this project more when I do my full-fledged review. The next project I want to talk about, you've probably heard a little bit about recently, but I felt it necessary to bring it up anyways. So the Phantom project is creating waves, and it's doing so because it's hitting a lot of the buzzwords right now. It's a DAG-based smart contract platform that aims to solve the issue of scalability and confirmation time. Mixing DAG technology with smart contracts is an absolute game changer, and I do think it will show a lot of value and interesting perspectives that we haven't seen before. Recently, they've also generated a lot of noise as they've partnered with Binance to help build out their interoperability. So it remains to be seen if they can convert a lot of that hype into actual product development and longevity. But so far, so good. So after that, I want to look at the GET protocol. They're tackling the problem of ticket fraud, which is a big problem lately, by registering everything on the blockchain and eliminating that fraud. What's important is that they have a working product, they're signing up partners, and even during the bear market, they were doing very well. They're financially secure and their tokenomics are great. For every ticket sold, GET is needed to fuel the blockchain, which is bought from the market. The millions of tickets sold in the coming years is expected to drive up the price a lot. And frankly, why wouldn't a solution like this do well? Especially in the States where we have Ticketmaster, I've been begging for a solution like this. So I'm hoping that Git continues to prove that this model is salient and that there's a lot to be gained by looking for specific niche applications like this for the blockchain. Okay, moving right along, we'll go into STOs now. So the first project I want to talk about, I met at Consensus this year, and while they're relatively new, I can see that they embody a lot of potential, both of themselves, but also of this quickly blossoming sector that they represent. Realty, or Real Token LLC, is building a system for tokenizing property in the United States. And what's great is that by participating on this platform, you still retain all legal rights and protections provided by traditional ownership of real estate. For the first phase of Realty, all listed properties will be rented properties. In order to prove the reality of tokenized real estate in its fullest, it's important to illustrate the full rights of real token owners. Receiving rental payments from tenants is one of the most salient mechanisms in which full rights over the property can be conveyed. While ownership of a property via a token is noteworthy, adding in rights to the cash flows generated by rent from tenants makes things a lot more interesting. Not only that, with the advent of smart contracts, there's no reason to retain this archaic system of payment every 30 days. Instead of one lump sum paid out every month, a real token rent contract will manage the dispersal of funds to real token owners so that they're able to collect rent on a daily basis. So yeah, there's a lot of potential here, and that's why I'm also going to do a full-fledged video on tokenized real estate. But I like what Realty has shown, and I hope that there's more competition pretty soon. For the rest of the security token section, I just want to put up this infographic on different security token issuance platforms that shows their funding totals and the different other metrics about them. You can see that by and large, it's a very top-heavy horse race. I think pretty soon here, we're going to start to see a lot of action on this front. I still very much believe in the implicit potential behind security tokens and their issuance. It may take some time for them to come to market, but there's so much there that when they do, it will be game-changing in many different ways. So the last section is DeFi, or decentralized finance. DeFi is a little bit hard to pin down, but it's basically anything that is working to build an open finance ecosystem. At Consensus this year, DeFi and securitization or tokenization were the hot topics that everybody was talking about, and for good reason. So to that end, let's talk about a couple DeFi projects. The first project is another one I met at Consensus, and it goes by Fabrics. Fabrics is part of the 0x Ecosystem Accelerator program, which is designed to accelerate and grow businesses that have a lot of potential. Fabrics is one of them, and for good reason. It gives you a turnkey solution for Web3 automation and middleware in one easy platform. They connect the many layers of Web3 technology into a single accessible interface, allowing developers to seamlessly integrate Web3 functionality into their own platforms. You don't have to worry about gas fees or nodes or Web3 providers or deep blockchain functionality. You just plug Fabrics into your application and access the decentralized web with as little as 5 lines of code. I like Fabrics because it's not trying to mess around with some half-baked utility token. It's giving you blockchain as a service and allowing for real adoption, and that's cool. We definitely need more projects and companies like Fabrics. So the next project I want to talk about is Ampleforth. They aim to be a token that is balanced around an equilibrium price target, but they also say that they don't qualify as a stablecoin, at least not initially. The cryptocurrency is designed to be periodically added or subtracted from an investor's holdings in order to match exchange rate fluctuations, meaning that it has a correspondingly fluctuating market cap. But I think the best way to look at it is that your holdings are completely non-dilutive. If you own, for example, 1% of the network, you will always own 1% of the network until you decide to buy or sell. That, I think, is a great property. What this also helps achieve is that the token is expected to have a low correlation with Bitcoin compared to other crypto assets. While I'm not a fan of any project entertaining an IEO, simply because I see IEOs as a cash grab, I have been talking with the Ampleforth team for around 2 months now, and I have gotten a chance to sit down with them and ask them pointed questions. That did leave me with an impression that this is a legit team with legit objectives, and they're building a system, an asset that I think will have a lot of value in the larger ecosystem. Continuing on this trend of stablecoins and stable assets, another interesting project I came across is Anchor. Anchor is a stablecoin, and what it aims to be is a currency pegged to the global economic growth, hedged against market volatility and inflation. It is an algorithmic stablecoin, which sets it apart from the centralized stablecoins like Tether or the collateralized stablecoins like DAI. The anchor tokens mirror global economic growth by tracking a series of indicators. As global GDP increases, so too will the value of the anchor tokens. Even though the US dollar is seen as the reserve currency of the world, I think the realistic approach is to build a basket of assets and peg the value from there. I think in the coming years, with the volatility of the global markets, it will be shown that pegging against one currency, even one as established as the USD, is not a sustainable practice. In the same light, the volatility of existing cryptocurrencies significantly reduced their usefulness. That's why the Project Reserve and their Reserve protocol have put forth the design of a decentralized stablecoin system that scales supply with demand and is built to maintain 100% or more on-chain collateral backing. This design strikes a really interesting and careful balance between stability, decentralization, and profitability while supporting arbitrary increases or decreases in demand. This could make Reserve more compelling than something like a MakerDAO and DAI system, but seeing as how complex those systems are, it remains to be seen if Reserve can put forth a better system. So finishing up the DeFi projects, I want to talk about a really interesting project called Synthetix, which was originally known as Haven, and you might remember them by their Haven stablecoin, which used a dual token system like how MakerDAO and DAI works. But the team realized that they could do so much more than just create a stablecoin, and as such they rebranded to Synthetix in order to enable the creation of on-chain synthetic assets, which in Oracle is used to track the price movement of the same assets in the real world. This opens up a wide variety of synthetic assets that any user can mint, such as stablecoins that are pegged to the price of fiat currencies, or other synthetic assets pegged to metals or indices or commodities, provided that it's offered on some exchange. Synthetic assets allow exposure to the price action of the asset without actually holding the underlying asset. If you don't want the hassle of dealing with KYC on the exchanges, and you're bullish on the price of Bitcoin, you can just buy SBTC to gain exposure to the value of BTC. And for the bears who are on the other side of the trend, there's an inverse synthetic asset to short the price and gain profit when the price of the asset decreases. Synthetix will be adding more synthetic assets of popular asset classes and cryptocurrencies as the exchange gains more traction and demand for certain asset types. And so those are the projects that I've got my eye on right now. Hopefully this list opened your eyes to something or gave you an idea as to what to research. And I aim to be doing these videos every Monday from now on, so hopefully this becomes a recurring thing. So thanks for watching, and before I go, I just want to do a little shout out to someone who recently passed away and has affected this channel a lot. If you've been around this channel for some time, and even at the beginning of this video, you probably recognize the signature sound of Off Dream's Thelema hyping you up to get excited to talk about crypto with me. At this point, it's basically the channel's theme song, and I'm forever indebted to the creator of the song, Off Dream, and the guy behind it, Theo. So of course I was saddened to learn that Theo had recently passed away, and while we never met or interacted, I'm glad that I got to experience his music and to be able to share it with you. So to Theo from Off Dream, thanks for helping make this channel what it is today. I'll continue to include his work in my videos as a tribute and in memory of someone whose work I appreciated a lot. So as always, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for sticking through the video. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.